Welcome to Your American Dream. I'm Anisha Jennings, and today I'm honored to welcome Sairan Aqrawi to the show. Sairan is an accomplished engineer turned business strategist who empowers professional midlife women to monetize their side business and discover the hidden talents that can transform their careers. Originally from Kurdistan, Iraq, she immigrated to the US in 1997 and has spent over a decade blending technical expertise with leadership development and strategic coaching. Featured in engaging speakers, Voices of Truth, Sairan shares not only her immigrant journey, but also her passion for helping women reinvent themselves, align purpose with action, and step boldly into leadership and entrepreneurship. Welcome, Sairan. Thank you so much for being on my show today.
Thank you so much, Anisha, for having me. My pleasure.
Thank you again. So, there's so much to unpack with your journey. You have had so much experience. You're an engineer. So let's start from the beginning on, how you started when you came here. What was it like so many years ago? And how has things evolved? And now you're stepping into this new phase of, empowering women. So tell us a little bit about everything.
Well, as you know, the start is always muddy. It's never easy, especially when you come from a different country, having sets of beliefs and action that you think that you can apply the same when you're applying in this different country, when you come from, another land and you think, oh, the American dream it's really easy. I'll just land to America and I'll make all my dreams come true because I have an engineering degree. The reality hit so soon. It was not the case because back in Middle East, we look at all those American movies and everything looks so shiny and excitement and celebrity flavor, right? But when we arrived, actually, we were hit with the reality so soon because now you are dealing with different culture. You have to know all the rules and ethic practice at work. You have to recertificate your degree, whatever it is, engineering, medicine, or finance, or IT, whatever you had a degree before. So the beginning was hard. I was in my 20s, I had more energy, I was young, but at the beginning, I doubted the American dream. I thought that I'm in the wrong place and I should just book a ticket and go back to my country. I had a sibling, I have the support of my parents, I know the culture, I know the language well, but you need to give it a time because big changes. This is a dramatic change. I came from Kurdistan, Iraq, and I was 26 when I arrived. I should not expect to blend in 6 months. This is not changing a state. This is not changing the county. This is changing the whole system, the whole way you decide to live your next 25, 30 years. So the beginning, as I said, it was muddy, but it's worth it. It might go up and down according to the what we are going through with the finance, with the raising prices for everything, the interest rate, and the landscape of for jobs has changed so much since I came. I remember when I arrived to United States, when we apply for jobs, let's say if I apply for 6, 7 jobs, all 6, 7 they will call you for interview. Now you apply for 50 jobs, maybe only 2 will call you back. Things may change, but it's worth your work. It's worth you thinking about, okay, how I can leave an impact. I am here. I'm already here. I'm away from my family. I should make the best out of it. And it's all worth it.
Yes, absolutely. So, what drew you to engineering? And, how did you start your career in engineering? And what was it like in those early years when you got here? What did the field look like?
Yes, when I came to United States, I had only bachelor in civil engineering, so I did not start right away in engineering job. I actually started in an accounting job, which has nothing to do with engineering. And I think the first pay it was like $7.25, but I was all excited because it was a county job. It was secure. It had insurance and leave pay and all of that. And that's helped me to start a family and having 2 babies while I was still working at the county job. But then, like I said, you cannot just be satisfied and thinking just because you have a bachelor degree, there will be a red carpet for you, welcoming you for a greater opportunity, unless you become a better version of yourself by, going back to school, gaining more degree, certification, learning other soft skills, learning the languages better, start taking classes in negotiation and sales and communication and public speaking, being comfortable be in the meeting and running that meeting. Because as a tech woman in STEM and being an engineer, we thought just being good at math will set you for life.
Mhm.
That's what's the belief we have long time ago. It's
Mhm.
great to be good in math and technology, but that's not enough for you to thrive in any company because
Right.
you require to gain other skills. Like I said, communication, it's very important. You can be a chief engineer and you run a meeting if you are not able to communicate the points that you have at the meeting to the rest of the audience or to the team that they are working for, you cannot thrive in that business.
Mhm.
So you have to gain those skills in order to differentiate yourself from others. You can't just be in LinkedIn and say, I have a degree, I'm better than everybody else because I have two master and PhD degree. Well,
Mhm.
that's great. That's a plus. Not no one is against your degree, but that's not enough to put
Mhm.
you as a leader. You need to gain other skills as well.
Right, right. So well said. So a lot of immigrants when they come to when they come to US, the main struggle they have is language. Either it is like I don't know English or I know English but I have an accent or I can barely understand what's going on. What would be your advice for, adapting in this situation?
Very good question. We all go through that. I remember when I came to US, my English was like English accent because the system in the Middle East is all English. So even like when we were in school, we had centimeter and meter. We have
Right.
kilogram, right? I came here, they said inches and foot and pound. I was like, what is this? So I have to shift my mind and calculation to different measurement. Also, the accent, we were talking just like British people. And so they were like, where are you coming from? Where are you from? And it's all fine. I feel like we overanalyze and take everything personal when we just arrive to US. And this
Mhm.
is not just me. I talk with a lot of immigrants who they come here because in my old niche, I was dealing only with international women. And they always say they get picked on their accent or people don't understand them. Then they ask them to repeat themselves. That's okay. We
Mhm.
tend, as a human being, we take everything personal and we are ready to fire back. Oh, let me tell them how smart I am. How dare he told me I have a heavy accent. He don't know that I have PhD degree and I teach in my university.
Yes,
Sometimes those critics, if it's being well said to you, present well to you, it's for your own benefit.
absolutely.
People not meant to say you are not smart. People just trying to tell you you are smart, you are very effective member of the community. But if you work a little bit better on your communication skill, perhaps talk a little bit slower
Slower.
and make your points more precise and concise. Be clear in your message so people will understand you better. Not necessarily when someone critique you on that language accent, they mean bad for you.
Right.
And that's not all the time, unless the way how they say it is belittling or they make you feel bad. That's a different story. But if I come to a new female coming from Middle East and I see that the way how she speak, first she speak very quick and she expect everyone understand her. I have
Yeah.
to ask her to slow down and make your message short
Yes.
because the more you explain yourself, the more you add big word that is not even found on the dictionary just to look smart. People, you will lose people.
Mhm.
What she's talking about. I mean, we don't even understand her abbreviation of what she's trying to say. So the more precise and concise in your message, the better you will reach the audience better way.
That's great. That's lovely. And that's so true because when you're bilingual or multilingual, you're talking so fast in your like home languages and then that translates into English and it's hard sometimes to people to understand. So that's great. That's a great point to not take it personally and to look at it as improvement.
And I will add one more thing just to emphasize at this point, and maybe you don't realize it if you just arrived to US. Having another language is not something against you. Actually, it's a plus.
It is.
I'm Kurdish from Iraq, but I born in Baghdad, so my Arabic is fluent. And many times I was able to utilize that extra language that I speak at work. And it's beneficial because the workforce also love you to have another language to help them with a difficult client, be on the phone with overseas, talking with prospective client or a contract. So don't think because you speak another language is something against you.
Right.
It's
Right.
actually it's a plus. You just have
Absolutely.
to utilize it well and also try to improve mostly the language that on the land that you are living in. So let's say if I'm in US, but I'm 90% working at Dubai, right? So I'm practicing Arabic more. So of course my Arabic will be more well said and clean, more like let's say comfortable speaking Arabic than being in the United States because my job is in Dubai. But
Right.
that doesn't should not prevent me to practice both because
Yes.
that's a plus, right? And then I see it in a lot of international commerce, especially the engineers. The reason why their English does not improve quickly because they are shy to speak.
Mm.
When I asked them why, they said, "Well, I'm afraid to speak up at the meeting or the conference because people might make fun of me." That's
Right.
all in our head.
Yes.
Everybody's busy with their own things. No one
Yes.
is thinking about your accent or what you're saying. As long you are clear, right? Your points are clear. It's all facts. You will make an impact,
Yes.
regardless where you're coming from.
Thank you so much for explaining that and pointing that out. So for women in tech, you're a woman in tech, STEM. What was that journey like for you? And how would you encourage more women of our, younger generation to get into tech? And what would be like how would you encourage and convince them to get into STEM and tech?
Yes, technology, some tech is not male dominated. We overuse that word. And from experience coming from north of Iraq, at my college, the class, we were like 35 students, only three were women. The
Mm,
rest were all men, right? So it was back then, when I was in college, it was mostly a male interest to be in construction or be a mechanical engineer or be an electrical engineer. Now we are in different generation. Women can do any job they like as long they are competent to do that job.
right.
So I kind of I'm sad that I still keep listening and hearing women saying, I'm not thriving in engineering because it's a male dominate. Well, there is no male and woman dominated anything. I have two sisters that are engineer. I have another sister in London. She's a doctor. You can't say those a negative connotation to slow you down and have you go backward instead going forward. There is no male dominated. There is something called competent. If you are competent in what you are doing, you will be effective and impactful in any job. Meaning, if I go to a company and it's, let's say it's construction, and I feel like I don't have chance because everyone is a man and they can thrive better than me. I already dropped a narrative for myself. I have
Yes.
not even started yet, right? I haven't even tested the water yet. I didn't even spend 6 months in that company yet. But if you work hard in order to become competent on that role, when you enter that room, everyone will treat you with respect and you will bring a value. They're not going to say she's a man and woman. They're going to say, listen to her. She's competent. She's been
Right.
doing this job for a while. She know her numbers. She know the fact. Don't mess with her. She's very smart. And she's been thriving as a leader because she's been doing so many other project in order to sharpen her skills. So
Right.
when you go to that meeting, you're not going to say, this is what I think the design should be because I've been doing this for 30 years. That's not a good justification. You
Hmm.
have to really accompany your comments or your facts with manual, with rules. You can say the public manual chapter such and such saying that the bridge design say this. When
Hmm.
you attach number and date to your statement, everyone will take you seriously because
Right.
you are not talking out of your mind and just making up things because you've been in the engineering for so many years. Nobody care you been in for 30 years. People care if what you are saying it's fact and is real. And that's when you accompany your statement with a book and manuals. Going back to your question, the challenge for being a woman in engineering, I'm not saying there is no challenge. I'm still going through blocks and challenge. Being in midlife and still in engineering, that doesn't mean it's rosy. That doesn't mean everything will open up just because you are competent and have a degree. No, those challenges and blocks will still be there. You
Mhm.
cannot cancel them, you cannot remove them totally. But the key is to be able to go through them and handle them well with
Yeah.
wisdom and a better act of action.
Thank you. That is so perfectly said. And it is true when you know what you're talking about and you're not looping in words and you can present facts, it does make a difference. So, thank you for highlighting that. So, you specialize in guiding midlife professionals to career transitions. Why is this stage of life so critical for reinvention?
It is. Think about it, especially for women, and this is why I say midlife professional women, because from my experience, I'm in my mid 50, and I when you hit that 50 number, you'll be scared. Like, I'm old now. No one want me. I have wrinkles, right? My kids will leave me. I'll be empty nester again. With all the culture negative connotation we keep hearing, midlife crisis, teen nester, where does these terms come from? I
Right.
mean, why you think when your kids grow and they leave the house, starting their own life, it's a bad thing? That's the nature of life. What am I expecting? My son is 30 and he still live with me so I can feel good and my ego stay in place. I should not be that selfish. I didn't bring him to this life so he can stay with me, so he can bring me the pills when I need the pills from the pharmacy, right? I
Right.
brought him to this life so he can thrive and explore and just live the best life like I wish for him. So there is no empty nester. It's
Yeah.
not empty. You can fill it with side business. You can fill it with travel with your partner. You can fill it with reading book, with hobby, with doing things that really interest you. So
Right.
when the kids leaving you, that is not, again, is not a bad move. It's not empty. You can call it a filled nester, not an empty nester. You can tweak those words.
Yes.
And we tend midlife women, when we hit that 50, we keep hearing midlife crisis, midlife crisis. Where does the crisis come from? I don't know where these terms come from. We have the ability to tweak that word to make it midlife priceless.
I love it.
Imagine yourself with a trophy, right? I am not changing diaper anymore. I'm not taking them to daycare. I'm not chaperone at their picnic. So I am now having more time to focus on myself. My daughter driving and my son is driving. They have jobs. They go to school. Now I have more time to focus on myself,
Right.
right? So it's not a crisis. As a matter of fact, it's a prize because doing those, I'm not waking up every night because they have an ear infection or sore throat, right? They are adult.
Right.
So I don't know why we keep those terms and only to make us more depressed. So
Right.
when I start a complimentary call with a prospective client and they said, I am old, they start with that. I said, how old are you? They said, 51, about to be 52. Okay, what does make you old? You
Mm,
only feel old when you have no impactful work. I
right.
am old if my purpose in life only going to my engineering job, taking a paycheck, going to vacation, and take nice picture with my family. This is not a life. This is such a boring routine, right?
Yes.
Everyone can do 9 to 5 job and take 2 vacation, right? A year and take pictures and post it on Instagram. What is does not make you old is having, like Robert Greene described it in his mastery book, a life task, a life purpose. What is your task in this life? Why you are in this life? I might am here to accomplish something, and Anisha have something else to, and we all together we complete the puzzles.
Right.
Our purpose is not just go to work, pick up a paycheck, and come home, fix a dinner, and sleep. That's such a boring routine, right? So going back to what you said, why I pick up that niche, because I'm going through it myself. I'm in my 50. I know how women in my age feel,
Hmm.
seeing their babies grown. Now they drive car. You used to drop them at the daycare, and now they are 6 feet and they challenge you, they answer you, and they think they are very smart, right? So you have to build your second life. Think
Yeah.
about it. The very first session of your life, you were building family, you were raising kids, you were establishing a resume and a career. The
Right.
other half of your life should be about reinvention, because
Yes.
now at the other half of your life, the only time you have left to really make your dream come true.
Hmm.
When I had my both babies in my 30, I could not think about starting a business.
Right.
I was raising two babies 18 months apart. So they were both babies. I could
Right.
not do speaking gigs. I could not be in podcast like I'm doing now. I could not write a book
Right.
because my priority in life was raising those two children, right?
Right.
So when you hit that mid 50, it's not a crisis. It's, as a matter of fact, the world now rewarding you with the best golden term of your life. It's
Yes.
they telling you now is time for you to discover your hidden talent, your hidden gem. It's a great time. It's a great gem. Take advantage of it. Don't brush it off. Don't just say, "Oh, I'm 53. I'll wait until 55." Why? What is that 2 years going to happen? When the more you postpone things, the more you lose the momentum. You
Yes.
just need to start now and start before you are ready.
Right. So, like our parents' generation, right? There's a lot of women who, um, once they come to that stage of like we discussed, empty nesters, now they have lost their purpose. Like, okay, I'm done with taking care of my kids. I'm done with this. What do I do now? Because they've lost themselves in the process by they've given so much of themselves to everybody around them that now they don't have a purpose. So what would be the process to help them rediscover themselves and, get them on the path to like, okay, now is your time. Like now is your time to shine, sort of, or like, pick up where you left off and what would be the process or what would be your advice?
So the process is my coaching packages. I cannot just give it away here, right, on the podcast free, but I
Yeah.
can give you a couple of advice or hint or clues about how to find those hidden talent. And that's applied to any women who hit their 50 or late 40 when their kid, they have their kids, they are established at their job. And now they think about, okay, my kids will leave the house very soon. Now what? What I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to do? I'll be retired from my IT job. I'll be retired from my human resources. I don't want to work until I'm 70. I want to retire when I'm 59, 62. But retiring and not doing anything, that's really also a death penalty for you.
Right.
Because personally, I'm not someone who watch TV. I don't know when was the last time I even watched an episode for 20 minutes. Not
Wow.
because I'm genius or I'm smart. No, I rather to do something instead of watching Netflix, either walk or yoga or reading a book. And when you are in your mid 50, you have that time more because you are already established at that work, right?
Mm-hmm.
For me to come in as an advisor or a mentor or as a coach, I wish if there was a pills or there was a process and manual I can take you and say, if you take one, two, three, four process, and boom, you discover your hidden talent. You discover your gem that you've been muting for a long time. It's a process that different from each client
Mm-hmm.
because each client coming from different, you know, they brought up different environment, they came
Right.
from different country, they've been raised differently. Some of the client they were spoiled all the way until
Yeah.
they graduate from college. Some client
Yeah.
they were very independent. Since they were in a teenage and high school, they were making living, they were paying their bills. So I had to ask a lot of questions, making them telling me more about what it was exciting them when they were younger. So, for
Mm-hmm.
example, when I asked a woman who's about to retire from a 25 years career, I had to ask a lot of questions about what she was doing before having a kid. She
Mm.
was baking well. She was a good cook. She was doing things by hand, knitting. She was painting. She was doing mandala. She
Wow.
was very smart and putting makeup, haircut, whatever it is. And I
Mm-hmm.
ask them what's happened. They tell me, oh, okay, I was painting when I was in my 20. Then I end up going to finance, or IT. Then I end up having a job, one kids after another. And when I ask them, can you share with me some of those paint that you have done before? They feel shy. Oh, it's nothing. It's not a big deal. I just threw them on the basement. No one see them. Why?
Yes.
Can you show it to me? So when they show me their art, of course they mute that talent for a long time, so they were not doing it for a while. So they
Right.
feel they are not keeping up with everything going on around them. And I ask them, what's going to take you if you start painting again just in the weekend?
Mm.
You are about to retire in 6 months, but how about if you just bring that fire back to you?
Right.
And
Right.
when they start looking at their paint and I see their body language and I see their eyes lit up,
Right.
the
Right.
spark coming back, and they start talking about the art. Let me tell you what's happened when I was in my 20. I attend this. exhibit. I went to New York. I did this. I saw this art. The whole dynamic and energy of their talk become all positive
Right.
because they are talking about their hidden talent, which
Right.
they brush off for whatever reason when they hit their 20 because they start starting a family and a career. So to answer your question, I hope there was like a magic
Yes.
I can give to people, say, oh yeah, follow these steps and you're gonna find your hidden talent. And I hear Robert Greene talk about that also. He said people asking him, what is the process to find your life task? And he
Yes.
said for him it took so long because he has so many jobs until he insists that he's gonna just write book. He's a great
Mm.
author, right? When you are in your 20 and 30 and you have the clarity about what you really love to do, that's easy. Don't wait until you are 60 and 70 and bring that fire back.
Right.
Start
Right.
before you leave your job. And that's what I'm doing. I'm still doing a full time job, but I'm doing my side business as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much for highlighting all of it. So, if somebody wants to work with you and they want to get in touch and start in your coaching program, what would be the process?
First, I give away on my website, on my Instagram, 15 minutes complimentary. And I'll tell you why. It used to be 1 hour, then I make it 30 minutes, and now it's 15 minutes. And the reason why, time is precious. Time is something that I cannot waste and give away anymore. I
Absolutely.
did in my 20 and my 30, now in my 50. Everything is count.
Right.
And I see prospective client, they come to those calls and some of them they just want to vent. They are
Mm.
at their work or they have some home issue with their partner or their kids. Well, I'm not a therapist and I'm not a consultant and I'm not
Okay.
a friend, right? We might be friend if you become my client for 6 months and we start
Yeah.
building a rapport and establish a relationship. We might end up having a coffee together soon. But right now, you're calling for a complimentary call. So you need my guidance. I will let you vent that everything is expensive, the traffic is horrible in your city. We all go through that. But then
Yes.
you have to tell me exactly why you want to hire me. There should be
Right.
a goal for future. I'm
Right.
not here to listen that your son is not good in math and you are struggling and you want to have a tutor for him. This have nothing to do with my expertise or
Yes.
my business, right? Again, you can, as women, you can share a few minutes that you have a son and he don't like school. That's okay. But don't make it a trend for every call we have. You're going to complain and whine about your personal life. That
Yes.
you might, that person might need a therapy or maybe a deeper help, not a coach. Coach, normally we take people from A to B and from B
Right.
to Z, whatever that goal is
Right.
a promotion, finding another job, starting a business, reinventing your life. So in my niche, what I do, I pick up those professional women who they are still working, but they're
Mhm.
about to retire or they never work in their life, but they have a talent, they have a passion. I
Right.
help them to monetize that talent, share it with the universe, have joy, because any business lack of joy is not worth doing it. If you're not
Absolutely.
going to have joy doing what you are doing right now, business or job, it doesn't worth you doing it.
Yes.
So they can contact me through my Instagram, LinkedIn. They can book their 15 minutes complimentary. And we ask question to see if that person is really committed to do the change, not
Hmm.
wishing, not dreaming. I
Right.
don't have a wish box here. I want you to be committed to make that dream a reality. I'm not
Right.
going to inspire you. I get sometimes a little bit annoyed when they said, she inspires, she motivate. That's not enough.
Hmm.
That's not enough. I have to push you to the next action
Right.
because
Right.
without action, nothing will happen. You can be
Absolutely.
inspired all day long, but if there is no call to action, if I'm not going to tell the client, do one, two, three in order to pick up the momentum, that's mean I'm not guiding them in the best way. So they
Right.
can contact me. I have coaching packages. Some people maybe have clarity already about what they are doing. They just need my guidance on LinkedIn. They want that executive presence. They want more confidence. They
Right.
want to look more competent at engineering field, having the ability and the courage to apply for promotion and climb the ladder. They can contact me. I can uh, advance their LinkedIn. I can give them comments and guidance how to make their LinkedIn more appealing. Or if they want to start a side business, they can contact me also. I will help them to start an Instagram page and how to start, be out there and gain more exposure.
Lovely. We will have all these links for our listeners so they can connect with you. So, what does the American dream mean to you now after decades of living it?
Almost 30 years. American dream, it changed, evolved. It's not the same American dream we have it on the 50 and 60, of course, which I was not here. I came in the 1996. I was in Guam. 97, I arrived to the United States. Right now, with after all those years, the American dream might be muted a little bit, but it's still alive. It's upon us to bring life to it again. That American dream term, you can find it in Europe or Middle East. I never hear about another country having a dream behind that country, right? I mean, we all came here in order to do exactly what we dream about in our country, and we couldn't have that tools or platform in order to thrive and make a difference. Don't expect too much from others. It's an inner job. It's something that you really have to take the risk and the courage to start the American dream by your own. If you want to start a bakery, if you want to start a business by yourself, ask for help and guidance, but don't expect things will line up for you. You're gonna fail many, many times. I can write book about how many times I fell in my niche. I fell in my other jobs that I took that I thought that's gonna define my American dream, and I was wrong. But without going through those experiences, you will never have the reality about the American dream. You can't just read a book about the American dream and say, well, I know what's the American dream now. No, you have to go through it yourself, through experience, up
Yes.
and down, knowing more, networking, be a better listener, have more exposure, have that curiosity all the time. You
Yes.
ask those people who really live their American dream, they start from scratch. They said, the only reason we made it because we were curious all the time.
Yes.
We were not following the crowd. We always have a different path and said, let me do this a little bit differently. This is
Yes.
how they become an entrepreneur and they thrive. So yes, the American dream's still here. You just have to make a little bit tweak about it and make it happen.
Absolutely. So well said. So, if you could leave our listeners with one truth about resilience and reinvention, what would it be?
Reinvention and resilience. As much as we feel we are weak, and you see it when you get a flu or COVID or any virus, you end up being in the bed, not able to eat or not able to go to work. You are the same person who feel weak. You are very strong at the same time. You can do whatever you want. So you have all the strength and tools. You just happen not to utilize all of them in the best way. So the
Right.
same person will be end up being on the bed from a simple flu are the same person who can build companies
Right.
and have the courage to thrive and take risk and always remember resilience coming from keep going, be consistent. Don't do one milestone and celebrate it and say, oh, I'm done, my next one look great, I'm making money out of my business. This life needs you to have endless journey of working. It's
Yes.
endless journey, it's an endless job. You never stop, you never give up. That's what how you build your resilience. So you are able and you are capable to do whatever you want to do.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here today and giving us your time and sharing all your knowledge, your experience and your advice. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you, Anisha. Thank you for having me.
As we close our conversation with Sairan, I'm reminded that the American dream isn't about following a straight path. It's about redefining what's possible at every stage of life. Whether in engineering, leadership, or personal growth, transformation happens when clarity meets purpose. If you're ready to bring that same clarity and alignment to your digital presence, I'd love to help create a website that reflects your next chapter, whether on Squarespace or WordPress. This is Anisha Jennings reminding you that your dream evolves with you. Until next time.